What is up, you guys? Tristan here, Ingram Orchids and More, and today we're talking about my absolute favorite, and that is Cyrtopodiums, and more importantly, we were talking about Cyrtopodium punctatum, the Florida native cigar orchid. And here you see blooming in front of me is my largest plant that I have of this species, and we are just now starting to open. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spikes. One of them I broke, unfortunately, so we're gonna make it do with 6. One of them's or 2 of these spikes are already starting to open, and the others are kind of, still in progress, not open yet. But I figured now would be a great time to start talking about it. I'm standing here, and I can smell the flowers. They smell beautiful, very lightly fragrant. It's not a very strong smell, but it's beautiful. And very pleasant smelling. And I don't know what to say about them. They're just enchanting, and they just...
Well, what do you love about them?
I just love that I love them. I don't know, I just do. I was told from the person that I got this from that this is likely Florida genetics. It fits with the bill with Florida genetics. Whether it is or not, I don't know. The pseudobulbs have these spiny white papery sheaths that encapsulate the bulb. They are deciduous, so when all those leaves fall off, they leave that papery material. And when they're dormant like this, the bulbs look kind of like cigars. See here, the new growth in spikes emerge at the same time, but the spikes develop much faster than the new growth. So the new growth you can see here comes out, looks like little palm leaves. They emerge, and then over the summer they'll grow into these large monstrous bulbs. But always in March and April, that seems to be when they bloom. You can bloom them out of season. I have bloomed one dead of winter before, bizarrely, but almost always they bloom in the spring. And you can see down here these trash roots that they make. That is one of the defining characteristics of the Florida native variety. Though the trash roots are a mechanism of the plant to catch detritus and falling debris that adds nitrogen to the decomposing material around the root system. When you add enough fertilizer to them, they don't tend to make these trash roots. So if you give them plenty of nitrogen during their growing season, you won't get all that. But at some point here, this plant, was lacking a little bit of fertilizer and started making the trash roots. But the flowers, they call this the bee swarm orchid, the cowhorn orchid, and the cigar orchid. And when it's windy, it kind of looks like a swarm of bees. But I love this flower. This plant here is what made me fall in love with orchids. When I first started learning about orchids, I found out about Florida's native ones, and of course doing some research, I found out about our cigar orchid. I just found that when they make these big masses of flowers, I just thought it was absolutely amazing. And you can see why. They're not the most showy flower individually. They kind of got these little red and brown spots on a yellow background, or sometimes they're more red, but I think it's just beautiful.
Shall we go see some more?
Yeah, let's go see some more. Here's one that's mounted. It's not quite open yet, but you can see the spikes forming here. Here's a different selection. This is one that's very, very yellow. It has just now started to emerge. There's a whole bunch of weeds in here, so I apologize about that. But what are you gonna do? I do think I have one spike forming. You can see down there, there's a new growth and a spike. When they come out, they emerge at the same time. But this plant was just repotted last year, and so I may have stressed it out a little bit, and probably didn't give it enough fertilizer either during the growing season, so only going to be rewarded with one flower spike this go around. So that one's a little bit behind Let's see. I know there's some smaller ones over here. Here we got one here. We got, oh, yesterday I put these lacewing. I had some cards with lacewing eggs on them. It looks like the ladybugs are trying to eat my lacewings. But here is a seedling one. Here's one. This one's still not quite, these are not quite blooming size yet. Do I have any more around here? Some more of the seedling ones mixed in here with my altissima seedlings. Some of these have not really emerged yet. This is paniculatum by punctatum. That's the hybrid I made. I should mention, I have it sitting out here just for the video. They will take quite a bit of sun, quite a bit of direct sun, that is. But I find that growing them under like 20 to 30% shade cloth works real nicely. So they usually live over there where those dendrobiums are sitting in the rocks, just to give them just a little bit of shade, because our summers get so hot, and it's oftentimes it's not the sun that'll burn them, it's the heat if they get too hot. This guy here, this guy looks like it's gonna bloom. This is an import one. So here's a South American import punctatum. You can see it, size reference there. But it looks like our new flower spike and our new growth emerging. I don't know what's going on with that other one. There was 2 growths this year. I'm not seeing anything coming out of the base, so I hope it's not rotten at the bottom. You should be getting a new growth on that side too, but not seeing that at the moment. Sometimes if they get a little bit of bulb rot at the base, you'll notice that the new growths won't emerge where they're supposed to. All right, so I didn't pull everything out, but I wanted, for size comparison, I wanted to pull out most of the things that were blooming. So I have my big one here in the background. Got this import one from South America that's going to be blooming soon. Next up, this is one I really, really love. So one of my colleagues and friends, Beth Lamb, she gave me a division of hers. And so this is punctatum LNL Select. This is El Salvador genetics. So this punctatum here originates from El Salvador. And I just love the way this plant grows. They grow so erect. They grow straight up. They're very stout. They have the perfect cigar shape to them. I mean, it's just a classic punctatum look to it. So this year I'm going to be awarded with two spikes. Hopefully I don't break those off or ruin them. Next here we have just more of a traditional punctatum. This one's blooming. This is still one of my favorites. It's got a much more yellow hue to it. This has got more yellows and reds. This one's got yellows with just red, no orange tones. And I got this sad looking little guy here. It needs to be repotted. I may make a video about that. But again, there's the flower. Only one spike this year. I think he's been in his pot for too long. It's just a little clay pot, and it's very, very root bound. I need to get that out of there. You can see all the abundance of trash roots. It probably did not get enough fertilizer either. And sometimes Cyrtopodiums, they get this weird black stuff on their bulbs. I don't know what it is. I think it's fungal. It happens sometimes during the summer rains, especially underneath the papery sheaths. Sometimes you'll pull back the papery sheaths and you'll notice these black soft spots. They seem to only run surface deep, but I don't know why they do that. I've noticed it on quite a few punctatums before, and I've never been able to figure out what it is. But sometimes it spreads and sometimes it doesn't. But you can tell as long as it stops, then the new growth comes out and it's fine. But I don't like it really mars. I don't think this is sunburn either. If somebody thinks it's sunburn. It shows up as these black, like water-soaked looking tissue spots on the surface during the summer, and then if it dries out quickly enough, it seems to stop and doesn't progress. But it's bizarre. I don't know why it does that. But there you go. You can see. So I got real big, really big, pretty big. This variety here, this import one from South America, has just got really tall bulbs. And then, you know, more of a medium size. This is where they start to bloom at about that size. And then that one that we saw a minute ago with Catherine on the stick. We saw the one that was on the sticker. They were smaller. Even though these do grow epiphytically, especially if you go down to the Everglades, you'll see them growing up in cypress trees way up high. But I find that even still, the best ones are always low down on rotten, decaying stumps, and, you know, very exposed. I think they do better potted. I've had better luck growing them potted, especially as wet as they want to be during the summer and as much nitrogen as they like during the summer. Like I said, I don't think this one got enough nitrogen. And even some of these, they're starting to make the trash roots. That's a key indicator to me that I did not give them enough fertilizer. So I am pretty heavy-handed with my fertilizer. I dump on maybe a couple teaspoons of, well, depending on size, a couple teaspoons or maybe even a tablespoon of, like, okay, a tablespoon's a lot. Maybe just a teaspoon to 1 or 2 teaspoons of slow-release fertilizer. I like the red flower and vegetable dynamite slow release. I think that works really well. And then I also implement my infrequent water-soluble fertilizer, the Palmer Orchids CalMag Orchid fertilizer. It's got the CalMag added in there. You're supposed to do that weekly, but, you know, I do my best. Sometimes I miss a week or two. But last summer I did not do as much fertilizing as I should have, so that's why I add the slow release. So when it rains or they get watered, at least they're getting something. But they are very hungry creatures during the summer, because during the winter they go dormant, they lose all those leaves, and they're not going to do any growing during that time. And you shouldn't be giving them fertilizer in the winter. And as long as you keep them well watered, especially if you're going to grow them in the full sun and well fertilized during the summer, then they tend to grow just well. They do like a real organic mix. I've grown them in a lot of things, and I found the best for me is something that seems a little bit more terrestrial than what you would think. So I've even grown them in Miracle-Gro cactus mix. That's mixed with like half cactus mix and then half like bark or perlite or rock or something like that. So I've grown them in shredded tree fern. That works really well. You can grow them in straight bark mix, but I find that does not stay wet enough, in my opinion. And I don't grow them in straight lava rock until they're this big. You know, this was in a mud mix, and then when I repotted it, I just added lava rock, just because there's already just so much organic material there. So for a real small one, I don't think I would not grow in straight lava rock. I would use the lava rock just on big plants, so that you're not adding a whole bunch of soil. But these guys here, this one here I repotted. I'm pretty sure it was not cactus mix. It was probably sphagnum peat moss with cocoa chunks, some bark, perlite, probably whatever I had on hand, charcoal, but it was mostly peat. Peat was the base, with other stuff added in there. And you can see it was growing nicely. You do have to watch out about this getting too wet during the winter time. If we have wintertime rains, these peat or mud mixes, as we call them, they will stay way too wet during the winter, and you'll end up with root rot in a dead plant because it's not growing and it shouldn't be wet during that time. But that's just something to keep in mind. And when the wind blows this direction, I can smell these. These are very fragrant. But there you go, guys. this is an update. I'll probably do another video before these are done. These still have quite a little ways to go, a lot more flowers to open. This one here is still developing, that one's still developing, and these ones here still have some flowers to go. So we'll do another video when these are more open, but I just wanted to show y'all a quick update on these. And Cyrtopodium season is here. So hope you enjoyed, guys. If you want to see more Cyrtopodium videos, let me know, because otherwise I feel like I'm the only one that likes them besides maybe a small few of y'all. I know who you are, the guys and gals that like Cyrtopodiums, but if any of the rest of y'all want to see more videos about it, just let me know. Alright guys, thanks for watching.